The beneficiaries that we deal with have mental health problems. That is the prime requisite of the charity, although recently we've moved into alcohol and substance misuse. One of the biggest things is how we now have to demonstrate that kind of pound value, which you could say in periods gone by we haven't had to demonstrate in quite the same way, but now we do. But now there's a lot of talk about business models, and in the past that would never have happened, but now that conversation comes up quite a lot. I think what we found out with our previous planning tools is there were some severe limitations for us as a charity. The previous planning tool worked quite well when, if you like, the planning was quite centralised, but now we were pushing a lot of that out, so a lot of our budgeting, certainly for the main group budget, is now being pushed right out to the front line, so effectively these people are becoming budget holders. So when we were looking for a product to take us forward from our original platform, we wanted something that not only could we take and replicate a process that we'd already done, but effectively getting it out to significantly more users than we'd had before.
Once the end users started to use Anaplan, they became more interested and more involved in being able to get their figures into the application. They thought it was easy, they thought it was very close to Excel, and therefore they could find their way around the package really easily, and they were really happy. We had really good feedback from all of our locality managers. It made more sense because you could write a formula as if you were writing in Excel, whereas with our old application you would have to write SQL sentences, and you'd need to be an IT expert, I think, to understand how to write good formula in the old application. Whereas with Anaplan you can write, it's more in sync with Excel, which is what we use every day.
What we ended up with when we got into our, if you like, our budgeting and our modelling round, which is what we wanted the application to do, is we have ended up with a product which can generate for us a full income and expenditure statement all the way down to contract level. That's quite critical, that's where we report, and it runs all the way up to kind of group consolidated level. It allows us to report by any of our subsidiary companies or our merger companies, which is great. That's something we haven't easily been able to do before. But it also generates a lot of other analysis. It gives us a lot of our margin analysis, it gives us a lot of our kind of headcount ratio, our kind of FTSE ratios. So all of that has been generated off of the new system, but most importantly, people can see this for the first time. It's something that provides the flexibility so that we can also roll that out into other areas of our business. Interestingly, as part of our budget and modelling project, which we're virtually at the end of, we've already identified ICT as an area that we can roll Anaplan out into. We've had discussions with them so they can effectively mothball their old database and use that. We're trying to do some stuff with in the future with our kind of tendering team and our business development. So it's how you can roll that application right out across the business, and for the first time start getting people to look at data that's all in one place, everyone has access to, and we can start to tie some of that together. I think there's a lot of things that Sempre do well. I think the biggest thing that Sempre do is they actually listen. I think that's really quite important. Understanding how the not-for-profit sector works, understanding in particular how Richmond Fellowship work, and understanding from what we've done in the past in terms of our mergers, and understanding, if you like, our business plan. That's really important. You know, Sempre really understood. I think the personal style of Sempre is nice. It feels very much like you're working with a kind of friend and colleague, which I always think is really positive, rather than just somebody who's come in, and I very much feel like they're there for 6 or 7 hours and then they're going away and my time's up and I am where I am with the product. I feel like they want the product to succeed for us just as much as we want that product to succeed.
They've been really hands-on, and they've taken the time to understand our business and what we do, and encouraged us to build a model that really works for all of our end users.